What if the kids were there? What if the impact was more on my wife? What if I had even bent in another way and the impact was such that it caused a more devastating effect? My story begins on October 26, 2024, where I was out shopping with my wife, and we were run into by some guy by a car. I mean, my wife and I. The impact was more on myself, and what followed was a painful period, a very painful period in my life. Things went from bad to worse because I mean the injury was way more serious than it was first diagnosed. I had to have two major surgeries on my leg. The first one was a limb severing surgery. That meant if not for that, probably would have lost my legs. And then the second was a skin grafting operation. They were painful moments, but God was there all through. It was going to be a very painful and long journey. When we got to the hospital, for instance, and we were examined, we were told that it was going to be at least 12 weeks of medical care, of physiotherapy and everything. But eventually we ended up spending just about 6 to 7 weeks, in the hospital. I was home early enough to celebrate the Christmas and New Year holidays with my family. God just showered me with so much love. His people were all around me. I felt the prayers of God's people. I tell you, I never felt alone for once. God's people were praying, God's people were visiting. The church community was there for me. In fact, at some point at the hospital, people started to wonder if I was some influential personality or the other. God reassured me that He was going to take care of me, and that is what He did. Much more than ever before, we never lacked anything. I mean, the resources all through, for the payment of our bills, everything was provided. Another testimony is that even whilst we were in the hospital, God made a way for us to move into our own house, which He provided for us. That's a testimony I cannot take for granted. Could have been another story today. There were so many what ifs when that accident happened. Indeed, God healed me. God showed me His love, and that is why I testify today. God's love works. God's word works.